Tonight, from Hollywood, The Barbara Stanwyck Show.
Good evening. Tonight, your gas company Playhouse presents a story about two sisters and the men they loved, with Michael Rennie as the guest star and Ellen Drew in the featured role. David Lowell Rich directed and Graham Ferguson wrote the teleplay, which dramatizes the hidden rivalries, the bitter animosities, and the deep conflicts which so often exist in the closest of family relationships. And now, in just 60 seconds, the first act of The Sisters.
Sure.
Yes, sir. She took the pin from the tray while Mr. Albert's back was turned.
And she was going to walk out.
So it seemed to me, Mr. Ulrich. I pressed the button.
No one else saw this?
We were closing. No other customers.
We've never had a case of false arrest.
No, sir.
It's a very tricky business. Show her in.
Will you come in, please, madam?
Won't you sit down? I pride myself on knowing my clients.
Oh, it's years since I've been in Ulrich's.
Or perhaps you have an account with one of our other branches, Mrs.
Jones, Janet Jones.
And your address, Mrs. Jones.
I live on the West Coast, Santa Barbara. I'm stopping at the Hertscher on 56th Street.
So, is your husband with you?
I'm a widow.
My manager tells me you chose something attractive. Ah, yes. Unusual design. Beautiful workmanship.
Very.
You intended to purchase this?
I hadn't decided.
With tax, that would run about $12,000.
You mean, can I afford to pay for it?
In the circumstances, I think I have a right to ask. I could check your credit rating.
That wouldn't show my earnings.
Oh, then you're a professional woman.
Yes, I paint. I sell my paintings.
And you have a permanent gallery representative for the sale of your painting?
No, I just come to New York and take my chances.
Some of my clients are absent-minded. One or two are rich kleptomaniacs.
I am neither.
Mrs. Jones, it has taken 4 generations to build the character of this establishment. We do not welcome notoriety. Only last year, my front window was burgled with a brick. Do I amuse you?
Well, burgled with a brick, it just sounded funny.
You know, frankly, you intrigue me, Mrs. Jones. You don't strike me as a run-of-the-mill shoplifter.
Well, frankly, Mr. Ulrich, this establishment doesn't strike me as a run-of-the-mill shop.
We have met before, haven't we?
No.
Most peculiar. Well, we've suffered no loss. I shan't detain you any longer.
The price of the pin is $12,000.
Yes. Come back tomorrow if you're interested. To me, personally. I'll hold it for you.
Thank you. Oh.
Are you hurt?
No. I just turned my ankle.
I'll call a doctor.
Oh, please, just a cab.
I go right past the Hertscher on my way uptown.
I don't want to be a bother.
It's no bother. I was leaving anyway.
Thank you. Kate, are you home?
I'm in here.
Oh. What do you get an 8-year-old child? What does he like?
Maybe a long time before he likes anything.
Why, what did the doctor say?
Nothing new. I get so restless, morbid things. That hospital, I had to get away. Hot bath, cold shower, lemon verbena.
Never mind that. Will he operate?
More tests. Oh, Janet, I'm so frantic. He isn't going to die. He can't die, Janet.
Darling, he is not going to die.
I'm so glad I came back to New York. Those Paris doctors are magicians, simply marvelous, but I don't understand a word. Why in heaven's name did I come to this hotel? 1 chicken sandwich, plain old white meat, $3.85, and 1 tinsy pickle.
Well, New York on short notice. You can't pick and choose.
What is it, the United Nations? Why don't they settle things and go home? When I think of what this is costing you, doctors, hotels, traveling. Oh, why can't I let down and tell you how grateful I am?
What's a sister for?
But I've done such terrible things to you.
That's all forgotten.
We used to be so close. We can be close like that again, can't we, Janet?
Of course.
When I married Julius, I was so smug and mean. But I'd driven you away long before that, hadn't I? You didn't even come to my wedding.
You didn't invite me. Speaking of weddings, I saw Julius today.
Julius, how? Where?
Well, I couldn't write or phone for an appointment, so I finally took a chance. I went in and pretended to steal a pen. I even play-acted a false so that I could spend more time with him.
Did he know you were my sister?
He had no idea.
Why did you have to see him? Why?
I had to know for myself the kind of man he is.
I told you what kind of a man he is.
Kate, Gordon is ill, very ill. Don't you think Julius has a right to know?
No, I don't think he has a right to know. Julius doesn't know he exists. I've raised him and you paid the bills.
But Julius is his father.
Let me show you something. Once a year on our anniversary, he sends me a present to ease his conscience.
It's very beautiful. And you kept it.
If I'd returned it, he'd think I was dead. That's what he cares about me.
Oh, Kate, you could be wrong. After all, you left him. Now, there must be something good about him. That's what I want to find out.
How would you like a day in and day out being compared to his first wife? That's all I ever heard. The wonderful Mrs. Ulrich, wife and mother, killed in an accident with her son. 4 generations of Ulrichs, and now there is no heir. He didn't love me. He married me to get a son. And now you want me to buy his respect by telling him he has one.
Oh, Kate, it's 9 years since you left him. Maybe he isn't what you thought him.
He was impossible.
Well, supposing he was, maybe he's changed. I only want what's best for you and Gordon.
I know what's best.
I don't think you do. Kate, I can't afford to support you anymore. That's why I saw Julius today. That's why he's coming here tonight.
To bring us together.
No, to bring Gordon and his father together. That's all I want. Don't you see?
No, I don't see. Hello? Yes, doctor. All right. I'll wait at the hospital. They're going to operate in the morning.
Oh. Kate, Julius will be here pretty soon. Please see him. Please tell him. You're afraid to see him. Are you still in love with him?
Julius. Why all this interest in Julius? What is it? Do you want to take him for yourself, just like you took Sidney?
That's unforgivable. I didn't take Sidney until you threw him away. I didn't know you were so upset.
You wouldn't speak to me again. Well, there was a time when we didn't speak, and it didn't hurt either of us.
It did. It hurt me very much.
Come in. Janet, I'm so sorry for what I said.
It was my fault. I shouldn't have kept at you.
All these years, I don't know how you put up with me.
But you're my sister and I love you. Help me with these, will you?
What for?
Well, I told Julius I painted. He kept after me and I got flustered. I don't steal jewels every day. I had to tell him something.
But he'll catch on. When I went to Paris, it was to paint. He knew that.
Oh, he'll never connect these with a few sketches of 9 years ago. Bring those two.
Janet? Janet, I want you to have this.
I couldn't take that.
Oh, please, you said you liked it.
I just can't.
Oh, it's Julius. Don't tell him I'm here, promise.
No, I promise. Good evening, Julius.
Hello, Janet. May I present Max Anstruther?
Good evening, my dear.
Please come in.
I'm afraid we owe Max an apology.
He does, not you. I persuaded Julius to leave his chair at the club to hear some music with me, but he clean forgot. I don't blame him, not even a little bit.
Well, I'm sorry I spoiled your evening.
Of course not.
Yes, it takes someone quite out of the ordinary to pry Julius from his sedentary ways. I congratulate you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Jones, have we met before?
Mr. Anstruther? No, I think not.
Well, gather your wrap and fetch your furbelows.
I won't be a minute.
She's charming, Julius.
Never mind that, Max. Look at the paintings quickly.
Oh, yes.
Not very good, are they?
You'd find better on a Greenwich Village sidewalk.
Kay.
Hmm?
I'm going now. Will you be all right? I'll see you at the hospital later.
I swear I know that face. Ah, there you are. What about Carlotti's? Come on, Julius.
Max was amusing, wasn't he?
He always is.
After the third martini, he was making his own music.
I thought we'd never get rid of him.
Well, he couldn't have heard much of his concert.
It was either you or Beethoven. Beethoven ran a poor second.
Have you known Max long?
My first wife's cousin. That is she. And my son.
Your son?
As she was driving him back to school, there was sleet and snow. They were killed.
I'm sorry. And you never married again?
Yes, I did. I couldn't stand living alone. We lived together only a year.
Didn't you love her?
I loved her and failed her. She was frivolous, irresponsible, volatile, and most charming.
Where is she now?
In Paris.
Paris. You go there, don't you see her?
Oh, I might be tempted to begin again something she wanted ended.
She might be tempted, too.
You don't know Kate. She's independent and proud, entirely too proud.
Is that why it went wrong?
No, it was my fault. Looking back, what Kate needed was security, reassurance. I heaped her with responsibility, criticism. It's very difficult for the second wife to live in the image of the first. And too, I wanted another child. I'm afraid I made a very bad husband.
May I make an observation about this?
Please.
I think she'd be very lucky to get you back.
Thank you. You certain we've never met before?
Oh, positive.
You remind me so much of someone I've known and been fond of. Excuse me.
Of course.
Hello.
I've been calling and calling.
We just came in.
I've put place and face together and have come up with that fascinating friend of yours. She was married to Sidney Jones.
Should I know him?
That Wall Street scandal, remember? He juggled his customers' accounts, got kicked off the exchange.
Fellow who went to jail?
He died there. Mrs. Sidney Jones dropped out of sight 4 years ago.
Thank you, Max.
I checked with a couple of friends. Seems she's had a bad time of it financially.
So that's it.
Still, she didn't strike me at all as the, adventurous. Did she, you, Julius? Did she, Julius? Julius?
Breathtaking and very romantic.
Yes. Now tell me about your husband, Mr. Sidney Jones.
I sat a few boxes from Max during one opera season. It was Max?
Yes.
He owns an art gallery. You brought him to see the paintings.
I wasted his time.
And now you're sure I came to steal the pin.
What else can I think? Your husband died owing a lot of money.
It may interest you to know that I've paid back all of Sidney's debts.
It's all the more reason to recoup at my expense.
Well, you think what you want. Good night.
And tell me why you came to see me.
I can't.
You tell me here and now. Several stores have had thefts. I'll broadcast the description.
You wouldn't.
You force me to it, I swear I will. You were so clever. So sympathetic and sincere. It will be a pleasure to expose you.
Let me... Kate? How is he?
Janet, he's so hot, poor little boy.
Nurse, he's better.
Oh, Janet, I'm so frightened.
Poor darling.
There was something I could do. Janet, am I a good mother?
Of course.
I'd do anything.
If there's something you want to do, Mrs. Ulrich, you might say a prayer. I've known prayers to flabbergast doctors.
Call me if you need me.
What about Julius?
That can wait until morning.
All his money. He can't help
Janet. I want to apologize to you. Won't you sit down, please?
Well, just for a moment. I'm very tired.
You're Kate's sister. You came to tell me something about her. She's in trouble. And what kind of trouble?
She won't let me tell you.
That sounds like Kate. I always knew there was a sister, but she wouldn't even mention your name. What was the difficulty?
Sidney Jones. They were engaged. They quarreled and she broke it off. She said cruel things that hurt him. So he started to do things for me to show her. I had always loved him. I married him. He was a sweet and gentle man. Ambition didn't sit well on Sidney.
If Kate's in trouble, I want to help her. And you too, if I may.
I know. But tonight, Kate is in no state for reason. Tomorrow may be different. I'll phone you.
Kate's sister. Now I know why I was drawn to you. You and Kate are so utterly different, and yet I saw her in you. This has been a complicated day.
Yes. For all of us. Good night. Kate.
They sent me home. It's been postponed. They'll operate at noon.
I know. I talked to the doctor. He has every confidence. Come on, have some breakfast.
Breakfast. How was your evening with Julius?
Very pleasant.
No doubt. He impressed you, I can tell that.
He struck me as a warm, kind-hearted man.
Now I know you want him. Just the way you wanted Sidney.
You knew I loved Sidney when I introduced you. I didn't take him from you. You took him from me. I only took him back. But that's a long time ago. I don't want to quarrel.
No. You just want to take Julius.
I could take him. I could love him very much.
Take him. Take him. I don't want him.
Kate, will you never come to grips with anything? The time has come for you to be honest. This posing, this running away, even these paintings, if they were worth anything...
I won't listen to this.
Yes, you will. You must listen. Julius will take you back. I know he will.
Why? Because I have a son?
No, because he loves you. Kate, we talked about you. He takes all the blame for the divorce. He knows he was being unreasonable. But just be honest with him. If you love him, tell him.
I can't.
Do you love him? Because if you don't, I will take him. Do you love him?
Oh, yes, Janet. I always have.
Yes. Here. Show her in. I've been waiting for your call.
I just came from the hospital.
Hospital? Miss Kate, is she ill?
No, Kate's all right. But there's a little boy, 8 years old. Kate's child and yours.
What are you talking about?
His name is Gordon. He was operated on at noon. It was serious, but he's going to pull through.
You couldn't have told me this before. I could have helped.
He had the best. I saw to that.
But why did she never tell me?
You'll have to ask Kate that.
Kate's son. My son.
She loves you, Julius. But make her feel it's not only the child that brings you together. She was very hurt about the divorce.
Poor Kate.
She wouldn't let me write you. But I had to know you. So I became a jewel thief.
I'm beginning to realize how much you've done for Kate and for me. What can I do for you, Janet?
Nothing. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
My plane leaves in an hour.
Janet.
Thank you. Kate is at the East Side Hospital. He's been so sick. But he's going to be all right.
Everything will be all right now.
I'm sure you join me in thanks to Michael Rennie and Ellen Drew for their outstanding performances. I liked my role, too, particularly the part where Mike pinned that diamond brooch to my lapel. Why doesn't that ever happen to me off the screen? Join us again next week. Good night.